In this story, the son of Frieza is about to learn a very important lesson, that his father's schnoz is extremely deckable. Oh so deckable. Hey folks, MasakoX here. Following on from our ideas regarding Frieza's character over the past few months, we are actually going back to something which is a little more typical, more traditional amongst the Dragon Ball fandom and consensus, and something that you will immediately get. Frieza is not a nice person. Despite having some stories which try to understand the fellow, and even one which paints him in a positive light for once, we are instead going into this story with him at his situation post the Broly movie. Despite this though, he does experience loneliness, as well as a desire to get back at the Saiyans in a more indirect and calculated manner, because clearly hitting them really hard isn't going to be working anytime soon. After all, he was hit by one in particular for a solid hour and a half. Broly bruised him up badly. Kuriza, the son of Frieza, derived from the parody comic penned by Toriyama, Neko Majin Z, is sent to Earth in this story to be taught by Goku and Vegeta the art, apparently, of being a fighter, as well as developing a rapport of sorts indirectly. But don't think that this was initially for a good cause. The only good that would come from this is that Frieza would get plenty of hot goss about what makes the Earthlings tick. Then he can come back, gather the information, aka his son, and then strike once more and much more effectively than in previous encounters. He shall return and enact his revenge in the most devious of ways possible. Oh, and his son, well, he didn't exactly hold him as first priority. He didn't particularly think much about his role after the idea, but either way, he wasn't experiencing loneliness anymore, to which Berry Blue isn't exactly impressed with. Let's just say that Frieza's desire for a son sort of changed and he got bored, sometimes even forgetting that he even had one of those. I'm getting major DBZA Bardock flashbacks here. In the last part, Kuriza had managed to break the thick exterior of Vegeta and get some good quality time with the prince, him realizing that this freak of a son of Frieza was actually somebody of note who actually held respect for him. He was much more honest and amiable than Frieza. With this thing showing genuine admiration for this world, as well as the people on it, including Vegeta, Kuriza had truly started to become part of the furniture of the crew, with Bulla becoming a very firm friend of his, as well as Pan of course. They were a nice little trio. They had tremendous fun together. So much fun in fact that when Cooler came about to get his nephew back, the youngling straight up didn't want to go with him whatsoever, even if he was family, dubbing this Earth his home. Cooler's training regimen bore fruit, and we get a very angry uncle arising and a brand new battle emerging. With Kuriza's uncle getting extremely nettled at his nephew's impudence, the Dragon team are now in the thick of a massive battle, which they did not see coming. Frieza was out of sight. He wasn't going to be getting here anytime soon. He had nothing to do with this encounter. Vegeta and Goku are now having to fight Cooler's armored squadron in the midst of their master, while Kuriza, Bulla and Pan are watching in horror. I'm scared, mutters Bulla, to which she then holds onto Kuriza for safety, who is also afraid of the aftermath of this fight. And this all concerned him. He could not stand this. But Pan though isn't all that worried, since it's looking like this will be over soon enough. And although the Saiyans seem to be winning this first fracas initially, Cooler's lackeys are far stronger than they expected.
What gives with these minions? Usually they are trash underfoot. What's gotten into them?
Goku isn't all that bothered though, since at least it means a decent measuring of their next target. Vegeta does have a point though. These goons do not seem to be total pushovers after all, like they were believed to be. When the Saiyans are in their base forms, they are definitely not able to pull out a clear advantage, nor actually be able to conserve energy ready for the boss battle. Thusly, our heroes have no choice but to tap into their higher powers and begin to push back more aggressively so, powering up to Super Saiyan. Cooler in the distance starts to smile.
Just as I thought. If they have to try this hard with my men, then this will be a walk in the park.
He isn't all that bothered about the fate of his crew really right at this second, and the Saiyans are definitely buoyed up now with their change in plan, which clearly increases their advantage. He must have heard about this legendary power enough to be unfazed. It's gotta be. I mean, it's not exactly a secret. Vegeta is starting to regain his calm and scathing attitude towards the brother of Frieza.
I see that your goons are a little bit outdated in the power level department, Cooler. All these years and for what? A thorough beatdown in front of your brother's greatest enemies? What a show. We've dealt with stronger opponents than this years ago. You're too late to the party.
Oh, so I heard, Cooler says with mirth, his expression not changing since the attack began. And this does alert Vegeta something's not right. He's starting to get the picture that Cooler's plan was going his way, not theirs. They were being played. His minions are clearly on the defensive, yeah, that part is accurate, but why is Cooler still full of himself? And as you might be able to expect, Salza seems to be the one that fights the most ferociously, giving Goku some particularly fun moments here or there, but quite frankly, Tagoma levels of power at the days of End of Z don't exactly impress Goku and Vegeta much. Yet despite not being able to land a hit that could yield a decent return, the Armored Squadron seem to be actually not that bothered. They are pretty durable. Clearly, they were built to whittle their enemies down slowly but surely, and then their boss goes in for the prize. They weren't in the business of flashy gimmicks this time around like their old counterparts, the Ginyu Force.
If there's any credit to be given here, it's that Cooler realizes the importance of eschewing gimmicks. Should we get serious and get this whole farce over with, Kakarot?
Aw, Vegeta, that would be unfair. These guys are weaker than us. Vegeta scoffs at Goku and just simply goes blue, ready to blast the goons away. Goku shrugs sadly and powers up as well. The Ki Blast explodes. Oh my, Vegeta Monkey Sir is really cool. Kuriza seems to be awestruck with the prince's power. After all the dust has settled down, both Saiyans are still surprised that the Armored Squadron are standing, despite having problems adjusting just moments ago. This really does not seem right at all. They seem a bit tired, sure, I mean, who wouldn't be other than androids with their infinity engines, but they still look them down menacingly, the Saiyans, without a care in the world. These three guys were not budging. They weren't beaten yet. Vegeta is starting to get very perturbed.
How? How are they so durable? Explain, Cooler!
His enemy outstretches his arms with pride and is more than happy to explain.
Oh, Prince Vegeta, you don't know how much about my species, do you? Well, it's quite frankly no surprise, considering that my brother is hardly utilizing any of our natural advantages that we as a species possess and have conceived of in our very short existence. While it is true that when it comes to brute strength, you two might have been unmatched up until this point in history, I decided it was time that I got serious. I had to make sure my squadron will serve me as proper sparring partners if I were to gain any sort of power in this rather more competitive universe. Sometimes they're punching bags, but those times are becoming pleasingly rare. And you could do marvels with biotechnology nowadays. It was mostly used so we can grow our own exo body armor, but we tended to modify our soldiers as well, and that useful trait was taken from your kind. But I still consider destroying your planet a waste, though. That was a folly of Frieza's that I to this day still cannot abide by. You gave them some Saiyan traits?
Vegeta has pretty unsettling flashbacks to the days of Cell, and his spine hurts a bit, who also contained Saiyan traits, DNA to be specific. Not a good sign either way.
They are far more intelligent than you, and those tails, forget it. In their case, their increase goes squarely into their durability. They can keep going for hours.
Goku wonders about this for a split second. How many times did he knock you guys out for that effect to work? Salza laughs.
Oh, so many times, mon ami. But Monsieur Cooler made it worth our while. And as you can see, we are much mightier than we used to be. Our master is a genius beyond comparison. We are still fighting your personal meat shields, no matter what you call them. If you are trying to impress us, you are failing spectacularly.
Vegeta starts to aim a Ki Blast directly at Cooler.
Oh, on the contrary, Vegeta. I'm actually stalling you for time.
Cooler smiles slightly.
What? What do you mean?
Vegeta seems thrown out of the loop, and honestly a little bit irritated by Cooler's coyness.
As much as I would like to face you in a good old-fashioned battle, I have important family matters to attend to that are far more important than some silly squabble about monkeys. You see, one of the reasons my father decided to put me on ice, for want of a better phrase, is that he was becoming afraid of me, of what I was capable of. I was too similar to himself for his own liking. Frieza was a far more desirable choice in his eyes. The fool.
Suddenly, the sky around our heroes goes black, with them seeing a gigantic, coiling green dragon in the distance. Goku seems surprised. Who knew about the Dragon Balls? Who got them? Shenron? How did you find them so fast?
Oh, that one is easy. I sent a scout party out before I announced my arrival here. Also, gentleman Kikono, whom you might have already met, copied the design of that nifty device that your human female made. I think you quite intimately know who I am referring to, Prince Vegeta.
Cooler wasn't able to finish the sentence as Goku decided to instant transmission towards Shenron, only to discover more minions that were just about to say their wish. Goku, however, interrupts them and attacks them without pause. Meanwhile, Vegeta is ready to face Cooler, who goes straight to his 5th form. But after a bit of a pretty even duel, he then decides to go gold. This fight is pretty impressive, but in all that chaos, no one sees that Salza had slipped away from the group and had gone for Goku. It takes a couple of minutes to get there, and just when Goku's about to chime in for the wish, Salza jumps onto him and covers his mouth. As Goku does his party piece and tries to bite his hand, Salza starts to scream out.
Oh, what barbaric trick is this?
While fighting Vegeta, Cooler communicates with Salza via device.
Stop your blathering and get on with this, we have no more time!
Salza gives Goku a wicked grin. He is durable enough to hold him for a while.
Dragon! I wish that all the Saiyans left in this universe were to be erased.
Your wish is granted.
But Goku doesn't have much time to think about this as he starts to fade, just like Vegeta, who sees in horror the same fate happening not only to him, but also to Bulla and Pan. They were part Saiyan.
Daddy? Kuriza? What's happening?
Kuriza looks absolutely terrified. Don't leave! Wait! The little frost demon attempts to catch her, but she just disappears, just like Pan and Vegeta. Meanwhile, Chi-Chi is absolutely mortified to see Goten and Trunks disappearing, while Gohan vanishes mid-conference.
Not a conference!
Far away on planet Vampa, Chilai and Lemo are left distressed because they cannot find Broly anywhere. Kuriza, for the first time in his life, breaks down in a fit of tears. Hearing this, Cooler breaks off his victory speech to himself and stands over his now mewling nephew.
Feelings such as this are for the weak, child. Your caretakers are gone. Your only option for survival is to come with me.
I'm not going anywhere with you!
Cooler has no time for this back and forth. He simply knocks Kuriza out cold. Gently though, he doesn't want to damage the goods. After this surprising win, Cooler and his minions just simply leave the Earth, leaving Bulma and the others trying to figure out what exactly happened. Meanwhile, Freeza is enjoying the creature comforts of his throne while he gets a call from Bilberry and Prune, reporting back from duty after falling off of the grid months ago.
Finally, what took you two so long? It better be something good or else I'll have to destroy you upon your return.
Oh, it is good, brother.
A voice that sends a shiver down Frieza's spine answers in the most coy way possible.
Cooler, but how? How?
I had a pretty good nap, brother. Also, say hello to your father, my nephew.
What? Kuriza, what have I told you about not leaving with strangers? Also, did you join forces with those monkeys in order to defeat me?
What monkeys, brother?
The Saiyans, you know who I mean.
I don't think you will find a single Saiyan molecule in this universe, brother. I took care of that.
You can't be serious.
Frieza struggles to believe this.
Lord Frieza, a ship is approaching our position!
One of the troopers exclaims.
Stay on target. I will give you orders to blast it should it get too close.
Really? Aren't you worried that you might damage your precious brat?
Frieza pauses for a second.
No, I can always make a new one. That one means nothing to me. I mean, if he allowed himself to be kidnapped by you, then what good is he?
Kuriza is left utterly speechless, feeling a heavy weight of sadness in the pit of his stomach. He's unable to pay much more attention to what's going on anymore. The ship, however, keeps getting closer and closer to the mothership.
My lord, it is in range!
Stay on target and wait.
My lord, soon it will be too close to evade it. Collision course!
Do not shoot before I make an order!
And that's why, Kuriza, feelings are for the weak, Cooler says as his ship rams Frieza's mothership and he himself launches from the top of the vessel through Frieza's command bridge. There is a fight between the two brothers amongst the wreckage, but Cooler is stronger. Even if they are both able to go gold, the older brother is clearly more powerful. And this battle goes on as Frieza's minions are busy trying to repair the hole in the hull that has sucked some of them out into space. Kuriza is able to watch the fight between his father and uncle and sees how the latter is clearly winning. Slowly and steadily, he punches Frieza out of golden form and he has won. He won't kill him though. He will just simply leave him here, floating in the depths of space so that everyone can see his failure. After Frieza is defeated, Cooley simply claims the mothership that had been repaired and flies away with it. Frieza drifts in the coldness of space for a long time. When he does finally come to his senses, a terrifying thought comes to his mind. He must find out what happened to those blasted Saiyans. He might need their help in this fight, and he hates this fact with every fiber of his being. And that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now. So what do you folks think? Is this quite a twist in proceedings? Will the Saiyans be able to come back from this at all despite being erased? Leave a comment below and let's get this discussion going. And I shall see you in the next video. Catch you later!